Today we're going to do some more complicated examples of adding and subtracting rational functions. So your first step, as always, is to factor the bottom if possible. And there's a reason that this example is on here, because the second fraction, I can factor out a 3, and I'm left with 3x plus 4 on the bottom, and x. Now notice one thing. I have a 3x plus 4 in both. There's also another piece that you need. You need times a 3, because remember, factors are things that are multiplied together. So I need to multiply the top and bottom of the first fraction by 3 over 3. So we get 6x plus 9 over 3 times 3x plus 4. Again, don't multiply out the bottom, because we're going to end up factoring in the end to see if we have any common factors that we can factor out. Now, what you want to do is you want to subtract the 6x from the x. So that's 5x plus 9 over 3 times 3x plus 4. You can't factor the top, so we are done. It doesn't say to give any restricted values, so we are done. Our next two examples today are a little bit more complicated, because there's nothing in common in the denominators. So this and this, those are each one term. There's nothing in common. That's one factor. So I need to multiply each of the polynomials by what the other denominator is. Okay, and we're going to have to do a little bit of work here. So, in the bottom, we're going to have 3x plus 1 times 2x minus 5 in both of the denominators. Now, for the tops, we need to do FOIL. So for this top, do FOIL. So I have first terms together, I get 9x squared. The outer terms are negative 15x. Inner terms are 3x minus 5. So that's going to simplify to 9x squared minus 12x minus 5. Now, multiply these together. FOIL those together. So I get 6x squared minus 10x. For the inner terms, now the outer terms are minus 15x. And the last terms are plus 25. So I have 6x squared minus 25x plus 25. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, remember, this is in parentheses, and I'm going to take my time here. Under our big denominator, I have 3x plus 1, 2x minus 5. I'm just bringing that denominator with, I'm not going to FOIL it out. I have 9x squared minus 12x minus 5 minus 6x squared. Distribute the negative to every term. That's why I like doing these minus ones with you guys. So I do a plus 25x minus 25. Now, 9x squared, 6x squared. That is a 3x squared. 12. Negative 12x plus 25x. That's a plus 13x minus 30 all over 2x minus 5 3x plus 1. Okay, now that you've simplified, you need to try and factor the top. So I'm going to factor the top. I'm going to take the 3, I'm going to multiply it to the last term, doing our 5-step or our Mr. Hirsch method. And it took me a little bit of time to play around with these. X minus 5 plus 18. Now remember, I multiplied by the 3, so I need to divide each of those by 3. 3 can't be simplified, so it swings up top. 3x minus 5. 18 over 3 simplifies to be 6. So the top is going to simplify to 3x minus 5. X plus 6 over 2x minus 5 times 3x plus 1. Nothing cancels, but I had to factor anyway to make sure that nothing canceled. And I think this book likes to do a lot of the factoring, where you have to factor. So there is our answer. Does it ask for any restrictions? So we are done. Our last example. Again, notice the denominator, even though they look very, very similar, they are not. They're very, very different. This one is plus 3. That one's minus 3. So you need to multiply by the denominator of the other one. So 2x minus 3 over 2x minus 3. Make sure you're doing the same thing to the top as the bottom, because you're really multiplying by 1. 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3. Okay, working with this one. We have 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 3. It doesn't matter which order they go in because you're multiplying. 2x squared minus 3x minus 2x minus 3, 2x plus 3. Foiling this out, I get 4x squared plus 6x plus 2x plus 3 Now I put this on the numerator. So now combining them. I have 2x squared minus 4x squared, negative 2x squared. Negative 3x minus 8x, negative 11x. Be careful of that negative sign. Minus 3. Now, just for fun, let's factor out a negative, and let's see if I could factor this. So let's do a little bit of work on factoring the top. So I take the 2 and I multiply it to the last term. So I need something that's going to add to be 11, but multiply to be 6. 6 and 1, they add to be 7. 3 times 2 adds to be 5. So this is prime, or a fancy way of saying doesn't factor. Doesn't factor, let's leave the negative 1 out in front. So that is our final answer. There are your lesson questions for the day. Some multiple choice questions for you guys.